This song is called Ohio, but since it has 3 syllables, we'll call it Wisconsin instead, because it'll fit. Am I going the right way? It's a question I find I'm asking myself a lot these days. In the course of the past 3 months, I graduated college, moved across the country, and began my first ever full-time job. With the amount of change that's taken place in my life in such a short amount of time, it's only natural that I begin to wonder if I made the right decisions. Mine is a generation of perfectionists, and this question is something I've heard my peers ask themselves on more than one occasion in their pursuit of excellence. Sometimes this question manifests itself as blanket statements like, I feel lost in life, or I wish I knew what my calling was. Other times, it doesn't even take the form of words at all, instead manifesting itself in fear, worry, or anxiety about the future. Lately, it's been easy for me to get caught up wondering about the trajectory of my life, especially at this time when many 20-somethings such as myself experience the infamous quarter-life crisis. As I've devoted this time thinking about my career, future schooling options, and general life ambitions under the lens of the supposed right way, the outlook appears rather grim. How do I know what the right way is? When I scroll through Instagram, it seems like everyone else knows what the right way is. Some of my friends are pursuing PhDs, while others are finding success as athletes, musicians, or writers. People younger than me are getting engaged, people older than me are buying houses, and everyone my age seems to know exactly what they want. Except me. In allowing my mind to be caught up in this tangled web of confusion, I find myself becoming less and less certain about what I really wanted in my future. My progress suddenly seemed to grind to a halt, and everything came crashing down around me. When I realized I had no answer to this daunting question, I came to the realization that the fault was not in my answer, but in the question itself. Imagine for a moment you're a captain of a mighty ship, and you're given orders that you must sail north. At the time you receive your directive, you're floating in the middle of the ocean with your anchor down. You, as the captain, want to fulfill your goal of traveling north, but the fear of going in any other cardinal direction paralyzes you. What if you sail south into sea monster-infested waters? What if you stray to the east and run aground on a sandbar? Suddenly, the prospect of going north seems to be terrifying. Wouldn't it be safer to weigh anchor and go north only when the way was certain? This is the problem many of us face today. If you knew there was a correct path for your life, but you had no way to know which one it was, how could you possibly decide which one to take out of the many that stretch before you? Now imagine again, you are still the captain of this ship, still without your navigation equipment, but your directive has changed. Instead of being given a direction, you are simply told to sail your ship in any direction you please. Your only goal is to preserve the ship so that it may travel as long as possible. How does this change the way you see your journey? You could travel south and face challenging sea monsters, or go east and navigate a maze of sandbars. And all of a sudden, the world is your oyster as long as you continue to sail. This analogy gets to the heart of my solution to the terrifying question of the right way. When framing the future under the lens of the supposed right way, we rob ourselves of the immense opportunity that stretches before us in every wrong direction. Instead of looking at it in this way, we need to reframe this question in terms of either action or inaction. Instead of asking if I'm going the right way, I've found it's better when I allow myself some grace and instead ask, am I moving or staying still? To stay still is to miss out on life and all its riches, while moving forward, even if it is in the wrong direction, opens opportunities to learn and grow from failure. While it's certainly easier said than done, I'm beginning to see the immense potential that stretches before me if I only keep moving. Moving across the country, starting a job, even starting this YouTube channel have already been fraught with failures. I could easily take these as a sign that these adventures weren't for me, but where's the fun in that? These days, I've begun to look at life differently. No longer does the question of the right way hang over my mind. Instead, I've begun to realize that the things I find important aren't always measurable or attainable goals. Sometimes, all I have to do is sit for a moment and jam out on guitar. That, to me, is the right way. and that's pretty much it because there's only 4 chords. So yeah, hope you enjoyed.